Remember this little shit?
That little troublemaker.
When I was a child in primary school, there were few filmmakers where I was not only familiar with their work, but with them themselves. Tim Burton, Steven Spielberg, and Robert Rodriguez. Most people, if they know him at all, know him for his Mexico trilogy and for the Sin City duology. But not me. Always and forever, I'll know him for the Spy Kids franchise. But before I get into one of the best family films of all time, yeah, I said it, I want to first get into Rodriguez's early career. El Mariachi was Rodriguez's directorial debut and had a budget of $7,000, almost half of which he earned by volunteering as a lab rat for 30 days testing a new cholesterol-lowering drug. His test subject name was Red 11, based on the colour of his t-shirt and number assigned to him. These experiences would later become the basis of his 2019 film Red 11. In 1992, El Mariachi premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival, where Rodriguez met none other than Quentin Tarantino, who was there premiering his directorial debut Reservoir Dogs. The two became friends and have collaborated many times. In 1993, El Mariachi grossed $2 million worldwide. Usually this would be a box office flop, but in comparison to its budget, it was a hit. Enough of a hit for Columbia Pictures to produce its sequel Desperado in 1995, which had a budget of $7 million and grossed $25 million worldwide. But what happened next that same year was one of the worst things that can happen to an aspiring filmmaker with a bright career ahead of him. He became a parent. I'm joking. Having kids didn't hurt his career, but for better or worse, it did affect it. Until 2001, nothing in Rodriguez's filmography was, family friendly. From Dusk Till Dawn isn't exactly a film most parents want to watch with their 6-year-olds, but Rodriguez did want to be able to watch one of his films with his kids, so he made a film for his kids. 6 of them to be exact, one of which he even made with his kids, but we'll get to that later. In the year 2000, Rodriguez rebranded his production company Los Hooligans as Troublemaker Studios, introducing Pepino to the world, and 1 year later made, say it with me, Tarantino could never! Spy Kids is arguably one of the best family films of all time. Are you happy now, motherfucker? And easily the best family film Rodriguez has ever made. The title sounds like any other bargain bin fodder, but Rodriguez brought a lot of style and personality and creativity to it. The CGI is somewhat dated, but minimal, at least in comparison to later. This was before half the practical effects in these films were the actors themselves. The shots that look cheap still have charm. Speaking of the actors, the performances by the child actors are brilliant. Okay, correction. Carmen is brilliant. Junie is...
I think it's up to us. You with me. With you what?
way past his bedtime.
Okay.
The adult actors are all taking the material seriously. This film marks the first appearance of the character of Machete, who would later have 2 hard-ass spin-off films. The film has so much heart too, and it never feels schmaltzy to me. It also has many jokes that flew over my head as a kid, and I am not referring to any innuendos.
I assure you it's Mr. Minion now.
And you think, the fuck, is Minion his real name? Or at the end when George Clooney has the centre-type black box over his eyes and you think it's there to conceal the character's identity, but then he takes it off like it's a pair of shades. That's fucking great. I always thought Carmen said shit-talking mushrooms, but no, all along she's been saying shiitake mushrooms. I didn't even know what shiitake mushrooms were until a few months ago.
You're so full of shit, talking mushrooms.
Okay, now that's just cheating. The ending song is a banger. The whole soundtrack is a banger. This was the first of many film scores Rodriguez composed, and he collaborated with other composers on it like Danny Elfman, who also wrote the lyrics for Flute Song, which sounds like something he could have written for The Nightmare Before Christmas. Flute's singing voice even sounds a little bit like Jack Skellington's.
You can dream my dream, you can have it all with me. You can dream my dream, you can dream my dream, you can dream my dream.
I give it an 8 out of 10. Okay, what's next on the list, Sam? Oh, there's a post-credit scene. Ah. Wow. Spy Kids 2 Island of Lost Dreams opens at a Troublemaker theme park. Peppino is canon! The park is being run by Dinky Winks, the Dinkster. I want to take this moment to shout out the YouTube channel Dinkster Daily, who have continued to post the same 8-second clip of Dinky Winks saying "Somebody ring the Dinkster" every day for the last 5 years, with occasional variations. The commitment. This is the last unironically good family film Rodriguez has made. Unlike most sequels, it doesn't rehash the original and is still very creative. In the original, you have the Thumb Thumbs and the Fooglies. In the sequel, you have Magnamen and these hybrid species created by a new character named Romero, who must have been named after George A. Romero.
Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
As well as Romero, there are other new characters who are introduced, like the grandparents. Their banter with the parents is very amusing. This is much more of an adventure film than it is a spy film, and it pays homage to other films in that genre, like Jason and the Argonauts, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey?
Dude, this is a totally deep hole. Yeah!
That one might have been a coincidence. Even the title is an homage to Island of Lost Souls, which is also about a mad scientist creating various hybrid species. I give it a 7 out of 10. Also, the ending song is a banger. What's next, Sam? This also has a post-credit scene. Ah! Wow. In 2003, James Cameron and Vince Pace developed the Fusion camera system as a means to shoot feature films in 3D. The first films to be shot on this camera were Ghosts of the Abyss, Spy Kids 3D Game Over, Aliens of the Deep, and The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl 3D, which we will get to next. And when I say 3D, I don't mean this. I mean this. Yeah, nothing says cinema quite like watching films with quality street rappers for lenses. But hey, at least the 3D is noticeable. Neither this film nor Shark Boy and Lava Girl are in 3D from beginning to end. In this film, it doesn't begin until Junie enters the world of the titular video game Game Over. Criticisms aside, the 3D in both these films is very purposeful and is incorporated in ways that are very fun. Martin Scorsese would compare them to a theme park. If you watch them, that is. The world of the game is all CGI, and it looks terrible. Unlike the CGI in Shark Boy and Lava Girl, though, I can justify it to an extent by saying that it's inside a video game, and that in 2003, video game graphics didn't look any better than this. But this isn't a video game. This is a film that people watched in the cinema, Rob. This was the same year as The Return of the King, Rob! Speaking of which, I can't forget about the best cameo of all time. Stanley never had shit on Elijah Wood in Spy Kids 3. Quick question, which of the costume designers thought out loud, hey, let's put a smiley face on Frodo's crotch? Spy Kids 3D Game Over is so bad that it's actually great. The mega race is the highlight of the film, but my favourite scenes are when Sylvester Stallone talks to the 3 other versions of himself. What makes these scenes so great to me is that Stallone is not a versatile actor at all, so to watch him attempt to play such versatile characters is...
Impossible, sir. The way the game's AI works is one...
I know. Can I just talk to myself at least?
You are talking to yourself. I am you.
Well then, you, me, shut up.
So be it.
Am I insane?
Completely.
It's the funniest shit. Not to mention George Clooney's Stallone impression, which I am counting as the 4th version.
For imprisoning me. For using me.
I give it a 5 out of 10. Also, the ending song is a banger. What's next, Sam? The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl 3D is based on the stories and dreams of Racer Max, Rodriguez's then 8-year-old son. And it didn't stop with him being the inspiration. He also played a 7-year-old shark boy in the opening scene. Coolest dad ever! He even had a say in both the script and the casting.
So what do you think of that kid as Shark Boy? You think he's the Shark Boy?
Yep.
It's only the first one we saw, and we think he's the Shark Boy.
Yep.
Oh, you like the way he did the lines?
Yeah.
What did you like the most? When he burned his arm and then he kissed it. That was funny.
Inadvertently setting in motion the chain of events leading to the formation of Team Jacob, which is the wrong team! This film is my biggest guilty pleasure. Yes, like Spy Kids 3 before it over-relies on CGI, which looks every bit as bad as it did in that film despite being released 2 years later. And yes, the plot makes no sense, especially in the 3rd act. But I can't not love it. Most family films, even some of the good ones, are soulless cash grabs, but I don't think that's the case with this one. It seems so sincere to me. It has its share of so bad it's good moments, arguably more than Spy Kids 3, but at least it is always funny as opposed to being cringeworthy. Both the villains might as well be in a Joel Schumacher Batman film. That's a compliment, a backhanded one, but a compliment nonetheless. Also, again, the soundtrack slaps! Except for the Dream song, that slaps too, but for different reasons.
Or my fist will put you out. Dream, 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 dream.
Genuinely, some of the leitmotifs are very memorable. When I heard one of them in We Can Be Heroes, it to me. I give it a 5 out of 10. Also, the ending song. But before I move on to the next film, there's something I want to acknowledge. In the opening scene, when Max fishes out Jacob, sitting beside him is a paper bag and styrofoam cup, both with a certain logo printed on them. That logo being Big Kahuna Burger. Big Kahuna Burger is a fictional fast food chain created by Quentin Tarantino that serves, no pun intended, as a connection between the films it appears in. These include Reservoir Dogs, Four Rooms, Death Proof, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and From Dusk Till Dawn, but it is most known for its appearance in Pulp Fiction. The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl 3D is set in the same universe as Pulp fucking Fiction.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you may have heard of the Pixar theory, you may even have heard of the Tarantino theory, but you ain't never heard of Shark Boy and Lava Girl also fitting into that theory. What's next, Sam?
Does anyone even remember Shorts? Anyone? Shorts is the story of a wishing rock told out of order via 5 episodes, or Shorts. No, it is not in fact named after the short trousers that reach only to the knees or thighs. This film feels like a series of comedy sketches that could have been on Nickelodeon or on YouTube in its early years. I don't have that much nostalgia for it, and it's not even so bad it's good, it's just bad. If it weren't for its association with the rest of these films, I never would have given it a second thought. I give it a 4 out of 10.
Also, the ending song is... Wait, what is the ending song? Hello and welcome to Hogging Down. I'm your host Tobias Hogg, and on today's episode we'll be making Spy Kids all the time in the world. Now to start with, we'll be taking a nice glass of original Spy Kids. Damn, that's good. As you know, it's very flavorful, very tasty. Now what we want to do next is we want to take this glass and just water it down. Just keep watering it down until it's lost all its colour and there is nothing left of the original product. But we're not done yet! Now, what you need to understand about Spy Kids 4 is that Ricky Gervais voices a robot dog in it. So this has to look like watery diarrhea, or otherwise we're just not following the recipe. So what you want to do is you want to root all around your kitchen, grab, I don't know, something brown. Do you like chocolate sauce? I like chocolate sauce, but let me tell you, I don't today. Now next we're just gonna. And now comes the hard part, the hogging down. I've made a terrible mistake.
I give it a 2 out of 10. It gets an extra point because TikTok is jokes.
No one ever notices time until it's gone.
After Spy Kids 4, Rodriguez only released one more feature film under the Troublemaker banner before yet again rebranding the production company as R Productions. Truly the end of an era. Please like, subscribe, and watch my previous video if you haven't already. Good night!